Terry for being here. And I hope that we do have a real fun campaign. I think that I had a partial verbal commitment from Mr. Hunter that he would take part in some of these town hall forums, hopefully something after the first year. So let me say at the outset that regardless of your party and regardless of how much you love your country and want the best for this great nation, none of that will matter. None of it matters unless and until we take the money out of politics. Dr. King said, "There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, yet he must take it because conscience tells him that it is right." And that's why I'm standing here. I'd rather be out there where you are. And my friends say, well, you're just retired after 45 years as a working man. You own your own home. You got a small pension. You can just sit back and enjoy life. You'll be dead before the country that once was yours is totally unrecognizable. And I could, but I can't, because King also said that I might live till I'm 94 and die peacefully in my sleep, but the last breath I take will just be the final confirmation of my real death. 30 years earlier, when I felt called upon to stand up, to speak out with all my heart and defend my people, the working people, the great, the wonderful, the storied, and now quickly vanishing middle class that are the true heart and soul of America. I felt called to stand up, and I refused. Well, you know in your heart that the nation is headed down a path that is dark and it is dangerous. We cannot allow the Democratic and Republican Party machines, the PACs, the special interests, tell us who will represent the people in this district. I'm sorry. They have the money, they have the apparent power, but we have the real power. We can vote. We can send them a powerful message that it will be the people who will determine what's possible and impossible. Look what's become of our country. Our middle class, after 30 years of insult and manipulation, ending with the near disaster in 2008. And we, the working people, the real victims in the crime, are made to pay the restitution to the perps who are made whole and now thrive. We are being squeezed, strangled, crushed, and broken by the burden that we and we alone are supposed to bear. The bill that we and we alone are expected to pay. Simply said, that is not right, it is not just, it's not the way real America works. And so we must stand up and speak out. We must, because conscience tells us that it is right. If we, the people, do not stand up, if we allow this to continue, yes, the country will survive. You say, what? With this cronyism, this nepotism, a Congress that's bought and paid for with a privileged elite and a permanent underclass? That sounds like Stalinist Russia. Well, it does sound like Stalinist Russia because there's no difference. There is no difference. They called their Congress the Duma, and they were representatives in name only. They were bought and paid for by the elite few and looking out for only themselves and their masters. So it's a distinction without a difference. What is the fortune for your kids and your grandkids when corporate Stalinism takes final hold? Well, the people who once had a life worth living will be wage slaves. In fact, some people already are. Low pay, no benefits, no worker rights, no pension, no Social Security, no Medicare, a destroyed environment. And of course, the elite told them through their propaganda organ, which, like the Soviet propaganda organ at the time, which was called TASS News, or TASS News Agency, they say, we must compete with the Chinese. But what they mean is, you, the working men and women, must compete with the Chinese. We, well, it's none of your business what we do. We have the opportunity to set a new direction. The man that we sent to Washington to represent us has failed. He's a nice young man, but after 4 years, he has not only done nothing to stop this slide toward corporate Stalinism, he has aided it. So he is either blind or he's in over his head. In either case, I believe he's got to go. Thank you.
Citizens of the new District 50 have been presented with a golden opportunity to send a message to the nation to set a new standard. Our representative, their vote is not for sale. Mr. Hunter has totally ignored his real employers, the people, and instead sold his precious votes in Congress to the highest bidders. Refused to compromise on anything and aided and abetted bringing our government and our middle class down the road toward collapse. By their fruits you shall know them, the Bible says. And when we look upon the tree that is Duncan Hunter's record in Congress, even those who had hoped for better from him see a tiny, unripened fruit that is his anti-abortion legislation, which belongs in the state legislature, by the way, not in Congress. And surrounding it is many bitter fruits that damage working people, damage seniors and children, hurts our economy, weakens our nation, and pits American against American, demonizes those not like him, and promises only more of the same, and even worse in the season ahead. The professional politicians of both major parties say, I cannot win. It's not possible. Well, I don't care what they say. I care what you say. Would veterans back me? Well, yes, I think so. I'm a veteran too. Although I didn't go to Vietnam as an officer, I was a private. I went to Vietnam at the age of 19. I landed in Vietnam during the Tet Offensive and served with the 1st Cavalry Division in 1968 and 69. I didn't spend my 21st birthday at the Officers Club. I was on KP duty that day. I left Fort Lewis, Washington as a private, and I came back an E5 platoon leader. And what about people? Well, I'm an unknown citizen, an average working man with no political contacts who refuses to take contributions from any PAC, corporation, lobbyist, or union, who demands that our beloved country once again be the land of opportunity for all. Now, why would you vote for me? Why would you, unknown citizens? Why would you, working men and women? You with no political contacts, you who get no special favors or perks for your votes, you who demand a country restored to its rightful place, a land with freedom, justice, and opportunity for all. Why would you want to support me? I'll tell you why. It's a very simple reason. Because it takes one to know one. That's why. Yes, for the most obvious reason. So let this district send a message to patriots across the nation that you deserve your own lobbyist in Washington. And I ask for your support and your vote. And let's get to work.